What is more destructive than Ebola or international terrorism? As the numbers show, it's corruption.
Wrong! Wrong! Lies! Lies! Another Western lie! What they call corruption, we call bonus! And when they call us frauds, we said bogus! We work our butts off really hard for our people, so we're entitled to take a bit of your money for our reward! So stop this Western lies this instant!
Welcome back to the Based Indonesian Show, your daily dose of based opinions. Corruption! What is it good for? It keeps the poor people that hates us poorer and keeps us, our families, and friends rich and richer. So it's good for something. Indonesia is the 110th least corrupt country nation on 180 countries. An astonishing accomplishment. We actually paid off the people to move us up from 179. But yes, corruption. Indonesia's tradition have always put value into families. And Indonesia has always strived to make itself a family-friendly place. Many laws in Indonesia have been set up to be family-friendly. You can marry when you are young, so you can start your young family. Pornography is banned on the Indonesian internet. No pornography. Haram. And you can put your parents in jail for adultery if you don't like them enough. Much like its laws, Indonesian politics are also family-friendly. So grab your dad, your mom, your kids, your sister, brother, grandma, ancestor, man, your entire family tree can enter politics. Want to run a family business in Indonesia like no other? Look no more. Just open up a party or work for the tax office. With these conditions, it's good for money to fall into good hands.
Our hands.
Corruption has always been a way of life in many societies in the world. The Oxford Dictionary defines corruption as a dishonest or fraudulent conduct by those in power, typically involving bribery. In history, the oldest case of corruption goes back 5,000 years ago in the first dynasty of ancient Egypt, where peddlers often bribed tax officials for exemption. Sounds familiar? As the global economy begins to flourish in the 20th century, so does the level of corruption. It is difficult to measure the magnitude of corruption as most of these cases are carried out in secret. Therefore, most census ranking countries by corruption only judge based on known cases. Which is why Indonesia is probably at the rock bottom. Corruption seeps into every stratum of society, ranging from minor bribery accepted by lower-ranking public officials to the embezzlement of millions by national leaders. According to Transparency International, former Indonesian President Suharto is believed to have diverted funds amounting to anywhere between $15 billion to $35 billion. Similarly, Ferdinand Marcos of the Philippines, Mobutu Sese Seko of Zaire, and Sani Abacha of Nigeria allegedly embezzled approximately $5 billion each. Explosive corruption scandals continue to rock the global headlines, sending shockwaves through the world even in present times. Brazil's biggest corruption scandal, the Lava Jato, unearthed a massive web of corruption where the director of Brazil's national oil company used slush funds to pay off politicians who got from there and use it to support their campaign for elections. Kinda like what our president did in the 1990s. Our neighbor, Malaysia, uncovered a big one in 2015 revolving around former Prime Minister Najib Razak. Najib appropriated funds from a strategic company he chaired, the One Malaysia Development Berhad, or 1MDB. According to the US Department of Justice, or DOJ, Najib misappropriated $4.5 billion from the company, funds that were supposed to be used for business development in Malaysia. The DOJ assisted in the investigation and returned some of the money to Malaysia in an effort to fight global kleptocracy. How ironic. Attorney General Jeff Sessions at the time described it as kleptocracy at its worst. 4.5 billions are rookie numbers. Our second president, this guy right here, got 35 billion. Get on our level! But enough with the measly details. Corruption can be found in many levels of society, from beat cops regularly taking bribes from traffic misdemeanors to national leaders using billions to purchase jewelry for their trophy wife or wives. In order to understand why corruption happens, we must first look to the root of the issue: human nature. Our nature compels us to both survive and find security. We seek ways in order to assure ourselves we do not need to worry about those things. Take, for example, if society is chaotic and murderous, we would be distrustful and backstabbing in order to ensure our existence. So what pushes human nature to indulge in corruption? The answer is humans adapt to their surroundings in order to survive and be secure, and greed is merely a byproduct of that desire. Have humans always been greedy then? I do not think so. Again, working on the assumption that humans adapt to their surroundings, for a human to be greedy, it must be under the influence of corrupt systems, societal pressures, or financial hardships that leads individuals to engage in corrupt behavior and unethical practices, which is why corruption is often rampant in third world countries or countries with really big economies. The former having little access to resources leads to greed being funneled. The latter having much access to resources without proper checks leads to malpractice. But wait! From our history, Indonesia is a corrupt country. Nepotism is everywhere, and it's a good thing because we are a family-friendly country. Gratification is also everywhere because nothing says a good job like a big bribe for our hard work. We've been at it in the 1970s to the 1990s when this guy, again, was president. He reached the highest score in embezzlement worldwide. And he gives us more pocket money than our parents could. Because democracy and human rights when we have money. Am I right? We used to be the most corrupt country on the entire planet, and we got cozy until these kids showed up and threw a rave at our parliament building. Ever since then, corruption has been especially real hard for us, especially when this big guy showed up. The Anti-Corruption Watch went into town almost every single week with newer cases, so it's been hard. Luckily for us, the people around this guy are pretty understanding of our situation. They have undone many of the achievements painfully fought for this country, so it can be rich and happy again. And thanks to them, the Anti-Corruption Watch is under the control of our parliament, whom we made sure to slip some pocket money to make sure that they always vote for what we want instead of what the people want. That's what happens when you fight for our lovely tradition. You get bodied, sucker! Our country is a third world country. While it's developing into a real big economy, it's such a pain in the ass to run. I mean, look at how huge our country is. You guys must understand how much hard work we put in so things don't fall apart. So we are entitled to take some of your money for us. I'm sure you'd understand. I mean, we take money from stuff that isn't important anyways, like roads. Who needs better roads? You guys are going to speed on it the moment we make it better. We'll keep it broken so you guys won't speed. Healthcare and hospital. Our country is one of the biggest population anyways. It's too crowded and overpopulated. Anyways, so I'm sure we don't need much insulin supply and let the numbers go down just a tinsy bit million. Schools. Schools are already good the way they are. We don't need more people to be smarter or else they can take all our money, so let's take away some money from that. The point is, we can all do this as long as we want. Because there is nothing stopping us. As long as there is no proper checks and balance, I'm afraid there is nothing you can do, sucker, but suck on your thumbs, you The only government agency that is stopping us from doing all of this is all under our control. Not to mention, we pack the entirety of our government with our relatives and friends, so we wouldn't really stand much to lose if we got found out. Even the police are on our payroll. And maybe our military too, but I don't want to get into the details. The only thing we have to fear is your number. Which is why we continue to divide you guys up through political parties and education. And also why we enforce strict censorship and anti-political laws on the internet. It's so that you guys don't throw another rave on our parliament. Let's show a mutual understanding and show each other some love. We need money from running all of your shit so that we can buy our hot wives jewelry they'll show off in their Instagram and get our kids fast car so they can run over some people who people don't even care about. And we'll make Indonesia one of the greatest countries ever so that you will be more proud of this country and you won't leave for some student scholarship. As long as education does not do enough to educate the culture of integrity and capacity, we will always be self-serving and never genuine. Unwavering in our worship of the almighty dollar. I mean rupiah. Yeah. Our numbers will continue to grow, and so will the number of the money we'll make. We have to make sure education does not educate people sensible enough with finance and values, so it does not jeopardize our coziness. Our culture is one that stresses tolerance and understanding. Please tolerate what we do in order to fill our pockets. So don't promote positive leadership. Don't be competitive in economy. Don't be transparent. Don't coordinate bodies against economic crime. Don't educate a culture of integrity. Especially don't set an example at the political top. Don't do all of that, or else we won't be able to get all these nice things. So sit back and relax. Go watch Better Call Saul or Oshinoko. Let us use your money
as we please for our greater good.
Thank you for watching our videos. Make sure you click like and subscribe if you want to see us take more of your money. I'll see you in the next episode of the Base Indonesian Show. Vote me.